he is in my anime.
Fuck.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, nigga. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. That's so fucking loud. Oh my god. Just fucking yelling. No.
Fuck out of here.
Oh! Fuck you! No, don't do it! God damn it.
I could've did my thing. Ah. And then you get to pick the fucking stage, dude. Don't fuck up. That shit sucks, you fucked up.
I like the jackalopes roll down the hill.
The jackalope?
Yeah.
My friend is watching this video.
And they're playing.
Fuck you, Matt.
Fuck you!
I keep trying to talk, and you just talk over me.
Oh.
Fuck off, man! Bullshit! Fuck this game!
I love the stage. It's like my favorite.
I fucking hate this stage.
It's just so bullshit.
Yeah, oh.
I hate the Jews.
Same.
And you can just wrap it into combos too, which makes it even better.
I hate that! It's one magic fist!
Fuck this game! I fucking hate this goddamn stage!
It's over! Yeah, that was...
Fuck this goddamn...
No, you cannot play that off. That was legitimate rage, dude. Oh!
So we keep rewatching Charlie's videos over and over and cry.
God damn it! I can't even focus anymore because I'm so fucking mad.
Oh.
Fuck this shit.
What the fuck just happened to me? God damn it.
Doing great, kid. Keep going.
No.
I think I deserve to go hunt down my waifu. I can totally see him going AWOL. But then he literally gets 4 Spartans
Yeah,
who
you
were
go
raised
with him.
from birth to follow orders to fucking just go AWOL, like, on a whim. There was no discussion in the game. They were just like, hey, I trust John. That's like one dude said, like, one
I trust him.
conversation. The one Spartan is like, I don't think we should do this, and this dude's like, it's John, we gotta, and she's like, oh, okay.
Alright, you're
And
right.
that's the conversation. And I'm just like, this is like supposed to be the ultra loyalist, you know, UNSC in-game. Like, these dudes do not fuck around. I got killed by a stalker.
Oh.
And, yeah, I know, I'm trash. It's just, you can hear Reeeee. John, and here's the other thing. John didn't even try to get permission. And I feel like this is really out of character for a Spartan. I feel like he would much rather try, because in the books and in the games and shit, whenever he tries to do shit that like they don't agree with, he tries to get permission first. He'll be like, I think this is what we should do. And then when they say no, he'll do his own thing, kinda, if he even does that. But in this one, he was just like, nah, I'm just gonna, because they say they're like, well, we should talk to command. He's like, don't say no, but he's like, fucking,
Just say no! Should we ask the mom first? Like, don't just say no. Fuck it.
pretty much. So, that's my little Halo rant. If you'd like to hear more, visit my podcast at
Fucking Reeeee!
34Reeeee.
Whoa.
They could just spend so much more in Halo. I would have loved, because they were like, oh, we gotta make this game more, like, we gotta, oh, I saw that. You're
made
so
it.
fucking lucky. Because after Halo 3, they were like, how can we tug on people's heartstrings? Let's just make it about Cortana again. And then Halo 4, and people were like, we're tired of Cortana shit. And they're like, well, we killed Cortana, what do we do now? And they were like, dude, Charlie, you kicked ass that game.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were like, let's make it more emotional. Let's make it more about John. I'm like, yes, do that. Cause you know what, I was like, make it about how when John was 17, not even 17, he was 14. When John was 14, him and Blue Team broke into an insurrectionist, like, hideout on a meteor and massacred a whole bunch of people to kidnap a grown-ass man. Let's talk about that. How mentally traumatic must that be for a 14-year-old? Let's talk about how Spartan training must be the most fucked up shit ever, because you know what they used to do? The people would get so mad, the Marines that were sent to train them would get so mad that they were getting their ass beat by Spartan, like little kids. They started using live ammunition to try and kill them.
Good.
Yeah, and I'm like, why aren't we talking about that? Where's that? Oh, what? That's gotta really fuck you up when you watch your best friend take like a gut shot to the stomach from a 7.62 by 54 round because some washout ODST dude can't handle this getting his dick stomped in by a 10-year-old. And that would be some crazy shit. Let's talk about, like, let's do, you know what I think, I've had this fucking image in my mind. You can make the most harrowing trailer ever. Have it start out, it's like a little kid, he watches his planet get glassed, and he watches all of these UNSC ships pretty much just like leave behind a whole bunch of people. And then it shows him growing up in like the UNSC in controlled places and getting mad at the UNSC, and like you see his family get like killed by the Covenant or by the UNSC and shit. Have his story be tragic and realistic to the universe, because like the UNSC is a military dictatorship. They don't give a fuck what you want.
Yeah.
And just have this dude be like, you know, oppressed. And then he joins the insurrection. Have him like literally just be handed a rifle, sent into a guard duty, and he's talking to some dude, and then just have his head get crushed by a Spartan. Just have a Spartan like appear out of the shadows behind him and just like crush his head one-handed and just go and some shit like that. That would be some like, oh shit, that's right. Fucking insurrectionists are people too. Spartans are godless killing machines to the normal person.
Oh, just because they're super soldiers doesn't mean they're fucking good people.
Dude, just imagine how scary it must be to be an insurrectionist and like, oh, by the way, there's 2 Spartans loose, and you're just like, what?
No.
And then you're just sitting around, and then it's like you'll hear like, you don't hear anything. All of a sudden, the wall behind you just explodes because 1 ton of fusion reactor powered armor busts through, picks you up, rips you in half, and then beats your friend to death with your lower half, uses your other half to block an incoming grenade, and then uses your finger bones to carve his way into your buddy's skull to steal his neural implants because he's a fucking high-ranking insurrectionist officer.
Jesus Christ. That'd be so
And that's
lit.
what the Spartans do!
That'd be so lit.
And you would be left sitting there, and it just shows like a Spartan walking away with like the bloody spinal column of an insurrectionist because he needs the data from his skull.
Yeah.
And you just like, it just cuts from that. That's the end of the trailer. You know how lit that would be? It would be cool as fuck to have a Spartan 4 group go rogue. And then it's all about the actual Spartans hunting down, like the Spartan 2s in like in the Halo 4 universe, hunting down the fucking Spartan 4 program washout, like the people who like pretty much became Spartans in like, because that happens. There's a storyline where this one person ends up like making it through the Spartan program to become a Spartan 4, and then goes AWOL. Like he did it all just so he could become a Spartan and escape and like help the insurrection. Have like a platoon of Spartan 4s do that, and then send out a hunter-killer team of Spartan 2s, like 3 or 4 of them, to just massacre and have these badass fights, like power armor on power armor, you know, limbs snapping, fucking busting into insurgent places and breaking their skulls open kind of shit. That would be lit as fuck! Make it a fucking third-person stealth game where you're a Spartan. You can go in loud, you can go in not loud. Eventually, you could die if you do it wrong. I mean, but that would be so fucking metal. You're just busting in places, breaking dudes' necks, shooting people in the face. But
you gotta keep the PG-13 because the baby is like Halo 2.
Even though it's an M-rated game.
Yeah.
And even though there is still like fucking like in the books are so lit, dude, because there's so much espionage and like just in the books they steal a Sangheili. That's Jewel and Dama. They steal him, and they fucking test, like, what's the word for it? Chemical weapons on him. They
Oh.
breed this on their planet. They have what's called Iruk grain. It's pretty much just wheat, and like all they eat on that planet is this thing called kolo. It's like fast cows and Iruk grain. That's like their main diet, and they pretty much poison the kolo meat and make the Iruk grain like so it dies out immediately. It'll like pollinate and then die before you can eat it. And so,
Alright.
like, they tested that shit on him, and then they're like, alright, and then they let him, and then he, like, escapes. But they make this shit to kill the entire Sangheili planet. Yeah, they don't talk about that in the games, how fucking evil Oni is. Oni, and here's the thing, though, when you read it, and, like, listen to Oni's perspective, you're kind of like, oh, that's a fair point. You know, would you leave a 7-foot-tall army of angry,
Yeah.
post-war, nothing-to-do aliens that know where you are and have better ships than you to do their own thing? Fuck no, you wouldn't. You would not do that. You would probably, at the very least, cordon off their planet and, like, destroy their ships.
Oh.
And you know what would be even better? Here's what would make an amazing game. I would play the shit out of this. Make it about post-war Sanghelios. You get to make your own, like, clan of Sangheili trying to survive on this, like, Civil War-torn planet. That would be metal as fuck. Pick your side. Do you join the Abiding Truth monks, or do you join the Swords of Sanghelios? Your clan, you know, strengthen your clan, get more shit, get more resources. And you know what they do instead? They're like, let's make a really edgy, super fucking weeaboo brute who has a red energy sword, who's technically been fighting the Covenant this whole time. No one's talked about him, but he's been fighting the Covenant this whole time, and no one knows but us.
Wait,
And that's Halo Wars 2.
That's a thing?
Yeah, that's Halo Wars 2.
Oh.
That's what it's about. This brute has secretly been fighting this war against the Covenant, trying to free his people. And I admit, it's an interesting concept, but how they're executing it is dookie.
Oh.
I need to brush my hair real quick and get some water over here, mate.
Alright.
That was a long rant. I'm thirsty.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I tried to warn you.
Oh, I love it when you rant.
Reeeee!